For nearly 2 decades, America was gripped by fear as a mysterious figure, carried out a series of deadly bombings that would make him one of the most infamous criminals in history. His name was Theodore J. Kaczynski, later known as the Unabomber, a former child prodigy who abandoned a promising academic career to live in isolation in a small Montana cabin. From there, he declared war on modern society, crafting intricate homemade bombs and targeting universities, airlines, and individuals he believed represented the technological system he despised. Between 1978 and 1995, his devices killed 3 people and injured dozens, while his ability to evade the FBI turned the Manhunt into the largest and most expensive in U.S. history. Fear spread nationwide. People were afraid to open their mail or board a plane, while investigators struggled against endless dead ends. A witness sighting in 1987 produced a famous sketch, but the bombings mysteriously stopped for 5 years, leaving the nation waiting in uncertainty. When the Unabomber resurfaced, his attacks were more precise and ruthless than before, culminating in his bold demand to publish a 35,000-word manifesto, Industrial Society and Its Future, which outlined his radical belief that technology was destroying human freedom. That publication became the turning point. His brother, David Kaczynski, recognized the writing style and alerted authorities, giving the FBI the lead they had sought for years. In 1996, agents raided Theodore's cabin, uncovering bombs, journals, and evidence that confirmed his guilt, finally ending the 17-year reign of terror. Sentenced to life in prison without parole, Kaczynski remains a chilling paradox, a man of extraordinary intelligence whose brilliance turned into a weapon of destruction, leaving behind a legacy of fear, wasted genius, and haunting questions about the dark side of human obsession. This is the story of the Unabomber, a mind that went astray. It was in Sacramento, California, on May 22, 1942, that Ted Kaczynski was born, the first son of a well-to-do Polish immigrant family. His father, Wanda, owned a successful lumber business, while his mother, Elizabeth, was a homemaker. From an early age, it was clear that Ted possessed an exceptional intellect. By age 3, he could already read and write. At age 6, he performed complex mathematical calculations in his head. By age 10, he was devouring books on advanced algebra and calculus. He attended the University of Michigan as a special student at age 16, earning his bachelor's degree in 1958 and his master's degree in 1962. All the while, he continued his studies, ultimately completing his doctorate in mathematics from the University of Wisconsin at age 25. During this time, Kaczynski also served as an assistant professor at the University of Michigan, working closely with renowned mathematician Martin Liebeck. He was praised by colleagues for his brilliant mind and dedication to teaching. But beneath the surface, turmoil was brewing. After reading several anti-establishment books, including Jacques Ellul's The Technological Society, Kaczynski became convinced that industrialization and modernization were detrimental to humanity. This disillusionment led him to abandon his promising academic career. He left the university and moved to a remote Montana wilderness, where he constructed a cabin and lived off the grid. Kaczynski's transformation was drastic. Here was a man who had everything to live for, a brilliant mind capable of great things. Yet here he was, renouncing society and embracing solitude. There's a striking irony here. The brilliance that had made Kaczynski so successful academically now drove him to construct ever more sophisticated bombs. It was as if his sharp intellect, instead of being used to solve problems, was now being weaponized to wreak havoc. This wasn't merely about building bombs. It was about building intricate devices that would pose as everyday items, only to detonate unexpectedly, causing maximum damage and confusion. The Unabomber was meticulous, patient, and he understood the power of surprise. He wanted to send a message, and he wanted to do it in a way that would make it impossible to ignore. His campaign began in 1978, when a homemade bomb exploded at the University of Illinois, killing 1 person and injuring 6. The device had been placed in a package disguised as a clock and left in the Department of Psychology. Over the next 17 years, attacks continued with no apparent motive or pattern. On December 11, 1984, another bomb planted in a similar manner exploded at Northwestern University in Illinois, killing a graduate student. Fear began to grip the nation. People were afraid to open their mail, suspecting that packages containing seemingly harmless gifts could be deadly. The Unabomber was undeterred. On May 24, 1993, a bomb hidden in a computer equipment case exploded at a federal building in Oklahoma City, killing 1 person and injuring 17. By this time, the FBI had classified the bomber as the Unabomber, a term coined by media outlets due to the university and airline perspective of his initial targets. But even with all these attacks, there were still more puzzling elements to the case. Why did the attacks stop between 1985 and 1993? And what was the motive behind these deadly bombings? In 1995, the public got a clue. The Unabomber struck again, targeting 2 more universities, Yale and UC Berkeley, and then, incredibly, he demanded that his manifesto, Industrial Society and Its Future, be published in major newspapers and magazines. Authorities didn't know whether to take him seriously. Could this be a hoax? Was the manifesto simply a red herring? They decided to publish it. It was a pivotal moment. The manifesto painted a chilling picture of Kaczynski's mindset. It spoke of a deep-seated hatred for technology and how he saw industrial society as a destructive force that had to be stopped. It was radical, extreme, but it was also brilliantly written, showcasing Kaczynski's intellectual prowess. Little did the public know that this very writing would lead to the downfall of the Unabomber. David Kaczynski, Ted's younger brother, read the manifesto and was shocked. He immediately noticed the distinctive writing style, the same style he had seen in his brother's journals. Could this be Ted? The thought terrified him. David knew his brother's brilliance, but he also knew his volatile nature. With a heavy heart, he contacted the FBI and provided them with Ted's name and address. It was a heartbreaking betrayal for a brother to turn in his own sibling, but it was an act of patriotism. When the FBI searched Kaczynski's cabin, they found over 1,000 undelivered letters and packages containing homemade bombs. They also discovered journals detailing his activities and a library filled with books on explosives. The evidence was overwhelming. On January 24, 1996, Theodore Kaczynski was arrested and charged with 8 counts of unlawful flight to injury and 1 count of unlawful possession of a firearm. He pleaded not guilty, claiming that his actions were justified because he was waging a war against industrial society. But the jury saw it differently. They convicted him on all counts, leading to a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole. Theodore Kaczynski's case isn't just a story of crime and punishment, it's a story of brilliance gone wrong. This was a man who could have changed the world with his intellect. He was a mathematician who grappled with concepts that most of us can't even fathom. Yet he chose a different path. He chose violence, hatred, and destruction. But why? What drove this brilliant mind to commit such heinous acts? Kaczynski himself offers some clues in his manifesto. He speaks of a deep-seated anger towards what he perceived as societal decay. He hated the direction technology was taking us, the way it was shaping our lives, making us dependent, even enslaving us. For him, the relentless march of progress was a threat, not a blessing. He wanted to stop it, to go back to a simpler time before technology dominated our existence. His plan was nothing short of apocalyptic. He wanted to cause massive casualties, to disrupt society as we know it. But Kaczynski's plans never fully came to fruition. He was caught, imprisoned, and labeled as a terrorist. In many ways, he won. He made us change the way we think about safety, about the sanctity of the mail, about the security of public places. But justice was also served. He was brought to account for his actions. Today, Kaczynski sits alone in a supermax prison, cut off from the world he so despises. He has no contact with his family, no friends, no hope of parole. He's left with only his thoughts and his regrets, a brilliant mind trapped in the darkness of his own making. As we look back at the case of the Unabomber, we're left with more questions than answers. We can't fully comprehend the depths of his hatred, the extent of his planning, or the reasons behind his choice of targets. But what we do know is that his story serves as a reminder of the fragility of our world, the danger of unchecked anger, and the terrible cost of brilliance misused. What do you think? What drove Kaczynski to commit these heinous acts? Could such a brilliant mind really be consumed by hate and anger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more fascinating content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.